Hello gamers. Welcome to 9 to 5 Game. Today we'll be covering the top 5 games you should be excited about in 2021. Though the world is still in the grips of the COVID-19 crisis, and some development times may be extended and release dates pushed back, we've got a lot to look forward to in the coming year. Xbox will no doubt be eager to prove its multi-billion-dollar investment in Bethesda was worth it, and Sony will be keen to demonstrate it can carry on its commitment to quality for another generation. Number 1. Halo Infinite releasing in 2021. Halo Infinite is probably the most highly anticipated Xbox Series X game on Microsoft's slate, despite the controversy that's surrounded its development so far. Though the latest game in the iconic Xbox series, which promises to continue the story of stalwart Spartan super soldier Master Chief, has lost some of its key development personnel in recent months, Microsoft is clearly keen to make this the best FPS it can be. To that end, the platform holder has delayed the game indefinitely into 2021. The game will act as a spiritual reboot according to developer 343 Industries, who has been a custodian of the Halo franchise since Bungie left to develop Destiny. Infinite is supposed to be a more open-world Halo game that leverages the Xbox Series S/X's remarkable power to render the TAC map, a special tool that shows how you can explore different parts of the title's mega-sized Halo ring. If you're after a big game, you're going to get it with Infinite, with 343 saying this project is several times larger than that of the last two Halo games combined. The studio is really giving us something to sink our teeth into. Number 2. Horizon Forbidden West releasing in 2021. A sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, one of Sony's most beloved new IPs from the PS4 era, was announced back in June 2020 during PlayStation's exciting E3 conference. Horizon Forbidden West continues to follow Aloy's story, picking up after the events of the first game. Newly emboldened and curious to learn more about the post-apocalyptic world around her, Aloy travels to America's decimated wild frontier, and straight into more danger than ever before. The new western environment takes us to the habitat of imposing new mechanical beasts, including mammoths and alligators, according to the trailer, and will seemingly have a focus on underwater exploration too. Game director Matthews de Jonge has already promised that the game will feature practically no loading screens, and we'll get to see how the PS5's DualSense pad deals with Aloy's infamous drawstring bow too. The DualSense wireless controller adaptive triggers will help us to make the weapons feel even more unique and satisfying to use, Jonge has stated, and we can't wait to see how that feels. Number 3. Hitman III released January 20, 2021. Agent 47 is coming back, and he's packing his suitcase of lethal gadgets for what's pegged as the most intimate and professional contract in his entire career. IO Interactive's sublime stealth trilogy reaches its conclusion with Hitman III, and the stakes have never been higher. Expect to unravel an international conspiracy, travel to some mind-blowing locations, and pull off some fiendishly complicated executions. Trailers and teases so far confirm that we'll be hunting down executive targets in a Dubai skyscraper, an Old English manor, a neon-drenched Chinese city, and more besides. Once you consider the option of importing the past two games' locations into the new title, you'll have over 20 playable levels in one game, all brought to life with crisp 4K and in 60 frames per second thanks to IO's impressive Glacier engine. An essential purchase for stealth fans. Number 4. Battlefield 6 releasing 2021. Though most of the details about Battlefield 6 are still shrouded in mystery, we do know a few key elements about the game that have us hyped about EA and DICE's next-gen first-person shooter. As is now tradition for DICE, the game will be seeking to push the new hardware to its limits, with EA already claiming the game will be targeting new innovation that will be enabled by next-gen platforms. Recently, we've seen the developer retread familiar ground as it revisits both World Wars, Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 taking on WW1 and WW2, respectively. Whether we'll see the new game tackle the Pacific Theater, head to Vietnam, or opt for a more modern setting has yet to be revealed. Even if the setting isn't to your liking, you can expect DICE's new title to at least be a mind-blowing demonstration of exactly what the Frostbite engine can achieve on the latest hardware. Expect destructibility, lifelike graphics, and some gorgeous map design. Number 5. Farcry 6 releasing May 2021. Continuing the series' theme of taking place in locations that, just about, skirt the realms of reality, Far Cry 6 takes aim at Cuba. But it's not Cuba, not really, no, this time our protagonist will be freedom fighting in a tropical paradise frozen in time called Yara. Under the rule of dictator Anton Castillo, played by Giancarlo Esposito, if you were curious, Far Cry 6 will apparently be a touch more nuanced in its political views than past releases. You enter the fray as a revolution is taking place in Yara, where the people are striving to depose Castillo and his corrupt regime. As a revolutionary, you will assumedly be tasked with leading the uprising, or at least play an integral role in bringing the heat to Castillo and his young son, Diego, who he hopes to raise as a brutal autocrat that will succeed him. Ubisoft promises your character will have more agency than we've seen in Far Cry to date, and that your actions will have repercussions on both the narrative and the world state. Oh, and you can have an angry dachshund called Chorizo as a companion. If it wasn't gaudy material before, it is now. If you have watched till here, Please make sure you subscribe for more news, walkthroughs and much more exciting content about gaming. Do like 9 to 5 Game if you love to watch these videos. And don't forget to share it to your friends and fellow gamers.